What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, and today I want to talk about this lawsuit that has been filed against Blizzard. For those of you that don't know, Blizzard is the company behind Hearthstone, which is like this card game. I've never really played it. That being said, it is the topic of a lawsuit that has been filed against Blizzard because apparently the loot boxes that they have in Hearthstone to get cards, the card packs, aren't worthwhile and you're not able to get a refund for them, and someone's suing Blizzard over it. Overall, I just wanted to talk about it because the story itself is kind of out there and involves gaming in a lawsuit. So without further ado, let's get into it. Blizzard facing potential class action suit over Hearthstone card packs. Alright, let's be honest here, loot boxes are basically a fancy way to say gambling. You know, I do love loot boxes. I'm not saying I've never spent money on them. I don't think that gambling should be illegal. That being said, I do think some people do kind of get deceived by these card packs sometimes. And I especially think what gets tricky is when it's not necessarily displayed what the odds of winning are, so people think they have good chances of getting good cards. And yes, that's their fault because anyone who understands how it works understand it's rare, but particularly with kids, you know, every kid thinks that when they open a CSGO case, they're going to get a knife. Every kid thinks that when they open a card pack, there's going to be a super rare card, and it's not exactly telling them, actually, you have a 0.03% chance. That being said, this particular lawsuit does seem a little bit like a we want money situation. And remember, I'm not a lawyer, alright? None of this is like legally binding. I'm an idiot talking over gameplay. Earlier this year, Hearthstone developer Blizzard Entertainment won its fight to keep Overwatch loot box lawsuits out of court, forcing the matter into arbitration. Months later, another parent on behalf of a minor is looking to sue the company, this time regarding Hearthstone card packs. According to court documents, Nathan Harris from Arizona and his lawyers filed a proposed class action suit in California court early May on behalf of his child, suggesting that Hearthstone's card pack system deceives players, particularly minors, into making non-refundable purchases. In the complaint, Harris's lawyer says the minor spent more than $300 playing Hearthstone from 2019 to 2021, using her father's linked credit and debit cards without permission. The lawyer argues the minor didn't know the odds of getting good cards and didn't know that she couldn't get a refund, and apparently she almost never received any valuable cards according to the lawsuit. Alright, so listen, I understand that the dad is probably pissed that the kid spent $300 without his permission on the game. That being said, the way that this particular document is worded, it makes it seem like they wouldn't have been as mad if she had gotten good cards from the pack. She almost never got valuable cards. I mean, that is how loot boxes work. And I'm sure, you know, he wouldn't have been thrilled either way, but for some reason, the way it's written cracks me up because it's like, obviously, if she would have unboxed some pretty sick cards, this lawsuit wouldn't be going forward. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but it's just weird how it's written. I don't really understand the lawsuit here, though, because I do think you kind of volunteer to put your card on the account, and if you don't have like a password or PIN code that your kid has to put in before buying things, I don't really know if that's Blizzard's fault. Particularly because I'm pretty sure somewhere they have some rule about how, if you agree to purchases, you know you're not gonna refund, blah, 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 blah. And listen, you know, I'm not involved in the lawsuit. I'm not trying to, side with anyone in particular. But I feel like suing Blizzard over $300 is gonna cost a lot more money than you're ever gonna get out of it. Lawyers aren't cheap, man. They're just not. Card packs in Hearthstone function a lot like loot boxes, which have repeatedly been litigated in court by the FTC. Hearthstone players are able to play the game for free, but have the option of buying card packs to obtain new cards, hopefully powerful or rare ones. Harris's lawyers suggest minors have the right to disaffirm contracts or get out of them and get a refund under the California Family Code. The complaint also takes issue with Blizzard Entertainment not disclosing the odds for these packs, as well as its failure to implement parental control features, and the right for minors and their parents to get a refund. Harris and his lawyers are asking the court to award the class action status, meaning it could include any minors who've ever purchased a Hearthstone card pack with real money. That'd be hundreds, if not thousands of people, according to the complaint. Blizzard's gonna be in a tricky spot. If anyone who has ever spent money on a Hearthstone card pack is gonna be able to join a class action lawsuit and potentially get a refund, I've never thought about it, but if this is the case, like if this legal precedent gets set where like basically if you're a kid and you buy a weapon pack and it's not the weapon you want, you can get a refund. It would be very immoral, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, could like someone who's not 18 buy CSGO cases, open them, and if it's not a knife, get a refund until they get something that's worth more than the value of the case? Like theoretically, could you just have an infinite money printer? Obviously, they're going to find a way to shut that off, but it'll just be interesting if this case is allowed and Blizzard does lose it, what precedent that would set. I think you would be flabbergasted how fast these companies would manage to find a way to turn off kids being able to buy things if all of a sudden they could be sued for it. You know, like I said, I don't necessarily think loot boxes should be illegal, but I do think it would be fair that they have to display the odds of exactly what's going on. I think that's the only thing that hinges on the deceptive side. I understand that when I'm opening a loot box, I might not get the best item. In fact, chances are I'll get a garbage one. But I think it would make everybody a lot more informed if they could actually look at it and realize, like, the odds of getting a CSGO knife are 0.002%. I don't know what the Hearthstone odds are, but I just feel like maybe people wouldn't be blowing their whole paycheck on boxes if they knew there was actually like a 0.2% chance of getting anything they want. I think it's fair to make sure that the consumer is relatively well informed of what they're getting themselves into. You know, Blizzard is just praying it doesn't go class action. Like, class action lawsuits are huge. The lawyer would make a ton of money. But that being said, you know Blizzard is sitting there like, please no, please no. Because I've got a feeling that there's a huge chunk of people that are making microtransactions that are in this age of not 18. Video games just cater more to kids. It is what it is. So they would be opened up to quite a hefty chunk of damages if this goes through. Blizzard responded to the complaint on Tuesday with a filing of its own, seeking to move the case from the California State Superior Court in Orange County to the U.S. State District Court in California's Central District, which it says has jurisdiction. To argue that case, Blizzard's lawyers revealed that Hearthstone has made more than $1 billion in revenue since it launched in 2014. It said this, of course, to demonstrate that Hearthstone has a huge player base and there's no way to know whether minors have made purchases with or without parental consent. Though Blizzard disputes the complaint, it suggests the damages in a proposed class action lawsuit would exceed $5 million, a fact it needed to prove to get the case moved to a new court. I mean, I get what Blizzard is saying, right? So many people are spending money on Hearthstone, there's really no way for us to check if kids or adults are the ones making the purchases. And I get it, right? I get what they're saying. The only problem is I don't really know if that's like a great legal argument. I don't necessarily know how it works. Obviously, it's very, very different for video game companies, but I think know your consumer laws on some levels, know your customer laws might come into effect. If you're making over $1 billion in revenue over any period of time, sure, there's always going to be like some person buying stuff that's not supposed to be buying stuff. That being said, I could understand how it might come across as willful ignorance to a judge. No, you see, we just have no way of knowing whether these people make purchases with permission or not. Meanwhile, there's somebody in the back room like counting the amount of money that they've made ever since this lawsuit started. Like, alright, obviously they're never going to be able to prevent everyone from making purchases. That's ridiculous. But the idea that there's nothing that could be done to prevent people that shouldn't be making purchases from making purchases, there really does need to be a parental control system. And I'm not even trying to say that because I think like rules and regulations are the greatest thing ever. Let's just be honest. If you're going to keep opening yourselves up to lawsuits, it's probably better at some point to be like, you have to put in your password before you buy something. And at that point, if the parent tells the kid the password, that's on them. Now they have liability for anything that's purchased. But yeah, I do think at some point it becomes a little bit of like, you guys had no clue what was going on when accounts are just making huge amounts of purchases without having to put the password in, you know? I think you're going to put yourself in a situation where eventually some kid's going to buy $3,000 worth of Hearthstone with his mom's credit card and she's not going to know about it. Like I said, I'm sure Blizzard is hoping that this lawsuit just goes away because it would be a lot of money, you know. I think that's why they're trying to get it moved districts and whatnot. But overall, I think loot boxes are going to continue to have a lot of legal issues. I just think displaying the odds would calm a lot of people down. And I think realistically, like, yeah, probably coming at some point is going to be some type of system to verify that you are who you are before you make a purchase. just so that way, even if some kid steals his mom's credit card or like steals the password or whatever, they can at least say that there's systems in place that try to prevent this. Whereas right now, it's like, oh, we're counting all this money, but we have no clue who's spending it. But yeah, anyways, obviously I'm not a lawyer, I'm just an idiot commenting on it. I just found it interesting. If you did too, I'd appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought, and of course subscribe if you're new. Yeah, that's right, 2 uploads in a row. I'm coming back slowly but surely. Maybe I'll hit a week straight. Seriously though, thank you guys for the support. I do appreciate it. Yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.